Yo, it's the GMSONIC show, Fantom opera flow, permissionless, immutable, unstoppable, spectacular, gather with Corville and Dracula, abracadabra, flip shit like a spatula, few Andre stand, the master of memes, DeFi king, half man, half virtual machine, no other team can match the collective expertise, no other chain can achieve the supersonic speeds, home of the most creative tech, what's your favorite decks, spooky swap, equalizer, Beethoven X, and when I place my bet, I never break a sweat. Worship the open source code like sacred text. Rest assured, battle tested and ready for war. I check the bribes, cast the vote and collect the rewards. Knock at the door, trick or treat. Move like a zombie, but usually I stay cooler than Fonzie. I get surgical with this, call me Dr. Doom. Break the sound barrier, hit you with a sonic boom. We got it wrapped like a mummy in a tomb. It's about time we address the elephant in the room. It's called Sonic. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. GMSONIC. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. Yo, since the Genesis block, consensus didn't stop. Innovating since day one and never missed the plot. I'm just a humble yield farmer, tending these crops like a routine. See you at the next epoch. Ayo, the DeFi Renaissance, yeah, we were part of that. Your favorite dap, Fantom is where it started at. Go to Paint Swap and cop an ancient artifact. Let's run it back so we can 20x the market cap. FTM's the pre-sale, S is the ticker. It's best to zoom out so you can see the bigger picture. Brand new tech, brand new insignia, no trivia, we stacking more chips than Nvidia. Graduated from Halloween to a sonic theme. The dead chain resurrected make you wanna scream. Due diligence, follow the new primitives, controlled by the citizens built to move billions. Your mass adoption, that's the only option. We ain't stopping till we locked in the top 10. Who got the best community? Who got the most promise? Who got the most pumponomics? Fantom and now Sonic. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. GMSONIC. Yo, what's the new hot topic? GMSONIC. Straight up alpha, you can get it if you watch it. Yeah, come on. Yo, this that spooky shit, that real, that's right. That GMSONIC shit. Hey yo, Mr. Clean. Shout out to Dracula Presley, Corville, Johnny Slash on the beat. Hey yo. Yo, it's the GMSONIC show, Fantom opera flow, permissionless, immutable, unstoppable, spectacular, gather with Corville and Dracula, abracadabra, flip shit like a spatula, few Andre stand, the master of memes, DeFi king, half man, half virtual machine, no other team can match the collective expertise, no other chain can achieve the supersonic speed.
Morning.
Good morning, Sonic. How are you all doing today? Welcome back for another excellent episode. Dracula, how you doing?
Man, I'm feeling good.
Does that energize you?
Yeah, market's still going well. We had those the big rate cut in the middle of the week. Everybody's feeling bullish, I think. Except, it is kind of funny to see so many like the doom posters they got to find something, right? So
Are they doom posting still?
Still some Doom posters. Now the latest Doom post is like, like look at 2007 when they cut rates, and what happened in 2008. And my argument has been like, you can't really compare the two because 2008 they were using subprime mortgage products to basically like leverage the entire market. So obviously a lot of stuff came from that with that market crash. So there are still a couple little things looming out there, but all in all, I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I think we stay bullish. They slashed rates by 50 basis point, so 0.5%.
Yeah, they hit us with it. They gave us a free QP, dude.
Yeah.
Wait, HP half point.
Yeah, I mean they gave us a 0.5 point, and they've pretty much said that they're gonna do another half by the end of the year. So they'll probably do, 0.25% 2 times before the end of the year is what I imagine. So yeah, lots of it's funny because like I said, it's what we've all been waiting for is for them to finally start cutting these rates, but then there's people still just kind of like doom posting about it, like, yeah, we're, like here it is, even here in this article. Last time they cut by 0.5 point was in 2008 during the global financial crisis.
Yeah, well, let's be honest here. We know what's really going on here, and I don't want to get too political here, but they just want to keep us broke, dog. That's what it's all about. They just want to keep us all broke, man.
Yeah. So
I just don't get it. Now, wouldn't it be? Wait, let's look at this chart. When did the rates start going up? Well, they cut them in 2020, and they shot back up in 2022, right?
Yeah, here's where we had like a really rapid, when they were starting to increase the rates. So
what if Jerome Powell's MAGA, dude? What if that's what this is actually showing us?
I mean,
he just wanted to sabotage Biden.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I understand what, you look at this chart and you go, oh, well, history repeats itself. But like I said, totally different set of circumstances. I'm still pretty bullish. We still haven't even gotten into having price action yet. I wish I could have pulled up this other chart that was like kind of like showing you basically when the having price action kind of like historically hits. But the long story short was that, you would see it on the chart where 2016, okay, it's going boom, here's where it hits, goes parabolic. Same with 2020. And basically based on those charts, it was saying we were about 15, 20 days away from when price action from the halving should kind of start like taking effect. So I feel like we're almost there. So we got 15 20 days
from today. Okay. I'm marking my calendar here.
Yeah, today is the 20th. So
like the 10th.
You also got to remember that CZ gets out of prison on the 29th. So it's all coming together.
It'll be so beautiful when CC gets out, dude. The whole market's gonna pump.
Yeah, it's all coming together. We didn't have like any CZ buy walls to protect us while all these shenanigans were happening post ETF. So looking forward to that.
That's awesome, dude. I can't wait. I'm trying to find. There's a video. You just remind me. CZ out. I think I saw videos about that.
Yeah, he's been in there. He's just pumping iron, staring at the wall, just thinking about how he can't wait to get back in the trenches.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of this, dude. This is what's gonna be like when CZ gets out.
Yeah. They done fucked around, freed the demon.
Yeah, dude, they freed the demon, dude. When they let CZ out, they're freeing the demon, dog. This whole market's gonna go ballistic, dog. He's gonna pump everybody just so we remember what it was like.
Yeah, and this is the weekly heat map, and I did want to show this because you know, 25 basis points was priced in. A lot of people were actually shocked by the 50 basis points. But crypto market reacted very favorably to it. It was not like a flat kind of like, oh, that's what we thought deal. So love to see it. I wish I could organize this a different way, but Fantom 30% on the week. I mean, I knew it was pumping, but I honestly don't think there was anything that performed like that. I mean, besides Tao or Teo, you know, they're kind of like the AI chain.
Hex chain or whatever the fuck it's called,
yeah.
Richard Hart token.
Oh yeah, we did pull that up. That for any big hex holders out there,
look at that.
Hex is up 75% on the week.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, if you're a hex whale, you're having a good week.
I should have listened to Mr. Got Plenty. Anyway.
But honestly, if we're talking about real things, right? Real chains, real whatever, then yeah, Fantom was a top earner on the week. You know, Avalanche 15%, not bad. You know, if we're looking at alt L1s, Matic did not have a very impressive week. Big shocker there. And
project, I'll be honest with you, no offense.
But you know, the majors, that's a big week for the majors. You know, basically Bitcoin and Solana about 9%, Ethereum 8%. Despite all of their, you know, all their wishes to keep Ethereum under $2,000 because they hate DeFi and they hate all of us. It's pumping regardless because people feel sorry for them. So,
do you think? Do you think Ethereum is gonna make it, dude? Like, I mostly see, and I don't know it's because it's my algorithm, because of the kinds of things I post. I mostly see people saying it's a dead token, it's going to hell, never coming back. Vitalik's ruined it. Incompetent leadership, blah 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 blah. Right? I see all this stuff.
I had to share a tweet because I wore it kind of like a badge of honor this morning that I'm now blocked from the lead dev of Ethereum.
Nice.
I was just kind of tired of, you know, the market started moving, so the lead dev of Ethereum decided that I need to go back out there and let everyone know that, you know, nobody wants Ethereum to have any value. Nobody wants DeFi. So he had a tweet that was basically saying, you know, just to remind everybody, you know, none of the OGs wanted Ethereum to be money.
Yeah.
Just to remind you guys, right? So I said, you know, hey, Peter heard the market was pumping, so he had to really move fast to put this tweet out to make sure no one starts feeling good again about Ethereum.
Yeah.
So I got the block. But, you know, it just comes back to what I was saying, that it's interesting that these guys told us for, you know, Ethereum's been around for what now? Geez, 8-9 years. For 6 of those years, they said it's programmable money. It's ultrasound money.
Yeah.
It's money. It's money. But like I said, everybody's got the bag and they think they're, you know, I don't know what they actually think they're going to do, but I just couldn't help myself. I had the troll. And
I didn't know I could just take it over like that. My bad.
No, go for it. That was pretty much it. I just wanted to show everybody that I put my, you know, money where my mouth is. Had to troll the guy.
Well, you know, kudos, because the quote retweet I saw of that tweet was Sam Kazamian saying something like, "These guys are stupid. These guys are stupid. They don't know what they're doing."
Yeah, me and Fraxman had a little exchange over that.
Yeah, he did. He did ask for it, then did the Pikachu face.
Yeah, because he also got banned.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen. All right, guys.
That's exactly it, man. I can't. They make the money, then they try to pull the ladder up behind them. That's how this thing works, dude.
Well, I said this in another group chat that, you know, I feel really petty talking about someone's appearance, but I just see the guy and I know that I don't like him.
He's got that
is not somebody. That is not somebody I'm gonna like hang out with, have a beer with. That is not somebody I want to talk to. So yeah, we're all getting banned, but maybe Sam. Yeah, Sam actually kind of went. I always call him Frax Man, but Sam kind of he's going after him. So when he first put that post out, I mean, Sam said send it to zero with haste.
Yeah.
I cannot be more bearish on Ethereum leadership. If you think you're bearish, you're not bearish enough. I mean, he came in hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I've seen maybe one positive tweet where people were like, yeah, it's not performing great, but everyone knows when it pumps, it pumps. But and Fault is on a great point. I think Fraxtal is up, dude. I think the name of the chain is Fraxtal, or is the points Fraxtal. Either way, Frax chain is operational. There's not really shit on it, dude.
Well, and he I don't know if it was on this actual post or not, but let's see. Yeah, that's him saying like it would be really easy to turn into an L1. So he's kind of like, he's like, I don't give a shit. I'll turn Frax chain into an L1, no problem. That's a done deal.
Damn, dude, that's brutal. Well, not it's L2. That's right. It's my kind of mixed up. But I can see why. The leadership. Vitalik's not really part of the leadership anymore, right? He's like retired.
I mean, to me, and maybe that's worth doing some research on. It's a little unclear to me. It's kind of like, in some ways, it's kind of like, yeah, he's like the Queen of England, but he also does still code and develop things. But
I didn't know you actually coded.
But to my knowledge, it's not really like he's like in the day-to-day kind of operations.
Do you think it's like he'll just like code something up and then shoot them it over in like an email or something, and then they're like, oh well, we gotta use this now.
Like, oh god,
what am I gonna say? No. Like,
did anybody see Vitalik's GitHub commit this morning? What a piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say though, he's doing his part too to also try to sink Ethereum lower with this shit.
Oh god.
Are from better than all the rest of them. It's mathematical. No more double spend is encryptable. Put your cash in your brain or it's variable. A new form of wealth begins.
Oh my! It's so like, why does he insist? I'm telling you, it's like a conspiracy. I mean, they want that token to be $0.
Yeah, he's doing everything he possibly can, from saying it's unsustainable to singing. He's trying to slander the name, or it could be an Illuminati humiliation ritual. You know what I mean?
This is more likely.
They couldn't send him to a Diddy party, so they had to send him on stage and do a little song and dance number. Or I think possibly the most realistic, ever since he got the hot Asian girlfriend, he's a millionaire. His ego is so big, he doesn't give a fuck anymore, dude.
I gotta say, Corval, you really gotta start being careful.
Dude, Gar, you're throwing it all on the screen, dude. They're gonna get me now, dude.
I did up your security detail by like 5 new guys, so you should be safe. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they couldn't get him at the Diddy party, so they got something on him, right?
Yeah, I do need that. 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I might need another 1,000 guys, dude. That's so much. Have you ever seen the movie Bronson, where he saves like the butter, like he's in prison and he saves the butter they give him, and he lubes himself up so he can fight the security guard so they can't grab him? That's what I think. If I was Diddy and I had 1,000 bottles of baby oil, you'd never catch me, bro. I'd be lubed up, never be able to get me.
They showed him he was chilling in Central Park with a backpack before they got him. So I would have imagined that he had like 10 bottles of that lube in his backpack so he could just douse himself real quick and start running.
His emergency supply. What the fuck was he doing in Central Park? I thought he fled the country. What a buffoon.
I don't know. But yeah. I imagine it's going to be kind of like the raid.
Mm-hmm.
Corval will be like on the top floor of his building in his penthouse, and these guys have to work floor by floor. They're trying to get up to him up top. We get you like 100 more guys, then we could that'll be raid scenario, I think.
Yeah, I need like 100 more Indonesian
Martial arts.
Martial art masters, yeah. I don't want to watch that
But-
movie again. It's a damn fun movie.
Oh yeah, man. I love that one. But I thought with everything that's been happening, like I said, the Ethereum guys are doing everything they can to tank the market, but they can't stop it. Bitcoin back above 60, looking good. We're getting above this volatile moving average. We're getting above the trend line. I think it's like I said, it's all kind of coming together, right? I mean, we're next week, we're in October, right? So we're on like the last leg of the election cycle. Bitcoin having price action, hopefully taking effect. I feel like it's all coming together. I feel like this is what we want to see right now.
Bitcoin to 100,000.
Like, I don't want to see Bitcoin hit 70K yet. I want to see it have another weekly close right around here, and then it's just like it's winding up. You know what I mean? It's just getting ready to pop off.
I see. That's because you get your commission check. You could throw it in before,
Yeah. So
plan.
I hadn't pulled up the Bitcoin weekly in a while, but thought it would be a good time to take a look because, yeah, like I said, to me, this is coming together. What's interesting is looking at the Fantom daily. Honestly, we're still just kind of breaking out of this range, but I feel the same way with Fantom right now. I feel like if we can just kind of hold above this resistance line, we're looking at a wind up. Like we just had a big move. I feel like, a little bit of correction is due, but it would be really nice to see that even with a little correction, we're more like staying around here, not going back down to like low 50s. So I think that's pretty significant if we can hold like 60-cent range during all this.
Yeah. Do you have that? What is it? The alligator or whatever the hell? I want to see the kind of the volume in this range. If I remember, it's pretty thin. We're kind of like.
Yeah. Alligator's looking good. Because that's what you want with the alligator is when it kind of like fans out like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to see. That means like, that's going into trend land. So I wouldn't be surprised if we, like I said, maybe we hover around this area, meet up with the alligator.
A little word of warning to you guys. I threw the chart into ChatGPT 4 after the last show, and it said bearish, dude. Bearish. You listen to ChatGPT, you'd be broke as hell. You listen to Dracula, well, you shouldn't listen to Dracula either. He's a hit or miss guy. No, I'm kidding.
But the reason I'm also talking about stuff winding up is I said this in the chat that I wanted to start looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart. What's important about the Bitcoin dominance chart is we need to see this cool down, right? If we want to have alt season, this has to cool down a little bit. And that's why I'm extra bullish. I think that, of course, the market changes. Things have changed since last run. We got these ETFs. We got all kinds of stuff going on. But historically, Bitcoin has its run. Then it kind of cools off. And that's when we truly have like alt season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what the dominance chart says to me is that, look at how Fantom's pumped and we're not even in alt season yet. That's big. Like we haven't even had like and I mean, that's good news for Ethereum too. If you're, like me and still have some Ethereum, Ethereum's yet to make its move. No shit, of course. But the same thing with Ethereum, it's like the Bitcoin dominance has to settle down. Then Ethereum makes its move and alts start making its move with it. So honestly, I think because like with Fantom and Sonic and everything going on, I think we see good price action, but I feel like truly we're not even close to like alt season yet. It might be like early 2025 or something, or spring 2025. But you never know. I mean, like I said, things have moved a little different, but this has always been very strong in terms of determining like what's happening with alts.
Yeah, the dominance. I'm surprised that it's so high. It feels like Bitcoin hasn't really been doing much, but I guess alts have been bleeding nonstop, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's been part of the problem, has been that, we discussed this before on the show, how like it used to be Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum alts go down, Bitcoin goes down, Ethereum alts pump, Bitcoin goes sideways, Ethereum alts pump. This cycle has been like literally Bitcoin does anything and everything just fucking, slow bleeds. So yeah, it has been like very much about Bitcoin, and it makes me like believe that this concept like remains true in terms of like when do we see the alts truly start to move. So I'll start pulling that up from time to time. This is the weekly on it. I almost wonder if the daily is better to watch on it.
Ooh.
Well, this is a good example here. We had a good week for alts, so you see dominance. Kind of like shit in the bed.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing to check in on. But yeah, I mean, Fantom is, we've had a super nice move there. So, like I said, 30% on the week. We just got to keep that Sonic train rolling, the news coming. Everybody was in Singapore this week, so there was a couple partnership announcements, but nothing like major really like announced this week. But
oh yeah,
it's coming.
Well, there was, I guess, a little chatter from Mr. Cronier. Earlier this year, he had this tweet. He said this. He said, and he's being a little cheeky little guy here. Let me zoom in. He's saying, I have about 4 unreleased DeFi primitives, protection markets, LevX, FX swap, on-chain bureau. Should I continue releasing all my shelf DeFi prototypes? I don't know, Andre. Should you? You spent so much time making them. No, maybe you should just keep them for yourself, brother. That's probably the right idea, right?
Yeah.
So somehow he still got 20% now. But anyway, basically everyone agreed he should release some open source and he should release them on Fantom. And restrict the license. Dude, Mr. Clean, it's so true, dude.
Yeah, ever since you dropped the GMSONIC track, it's been up only, and I think it's safe to say that that's really why we've been having these moves. So,
oh yeah,
I think you're right.
I was telling Dracula before the show, they do the Mount Rushmore of Sonic, right? You got Andre, you got Michael Kong, you got Mr. Clean, and you got Sonic the Hedgehog, possibly Knuckles. But yeah, I think yeah, dude, it's people have been loving it, dude. We've been getting messages saying that people love it.
Yeah, people do love it.
Yeah, you got to make an album, Mr. Clean. You got an album mixtape, maybe? Drop the Dat Piff link if you got it. But anyway, back to this. Oh yeah, so he's followed up on this tweet like earlier this week. So a few 7-8 months later, he's kind of explained a little bit. Protection markets, generalized on-chain insurance for arbitrary claims using vaults with collateral deployed into yield. Now, that's kind of a word salad here, but pretty much just means like insurance, right? Like you pay a little bit and it earns yield.
Yeah, there's been a few forays into that. I don't know the protocol names off the top of my head, but I have seen, like, if you go like to Beefy, like the Beefy vaults, they've teamed up with somebody. Right? Yeah, they've teamed up with a protocol that does insurance. And I mean, honestly, it's exactly like what you imagine. It's like, based on the size of your position, you pay, I want to say it was something like, if you had like a $2,000-$3,000 position, it was like, $10-$14 or something. And I don't know if that's what some of these protocols are doing now with the yield, but it would make sense, right? That it's insurance. So it's just a bunch of money sitting there from people submitting, that I want insurance. So why would you not earn yield on that, to help back up the treasury? So yeah, that's a smart idea to me.
First red pill of finance, right, is money never just sits anywhere. It should never just be sitting just around. You always got to be lending it to someone or doing something with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, LevX, on-chain leverage spot with arbitrary margin assets. So meaning like you could put in just whatever margin and leverage trade. Am I understanding this correctly, Dracula? I mean, it's kind of hard because he's only got one sentence here, but it seems like what he's going for.
Yeah, I take it as by arbitrary margin assets. I guess it's like a system where it's not just like stables and Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably be like other exotic assets as well.
Like Boo or something.
Could be, yeah.
Leverage trade with Boo.
Or even, Fantom or yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. An AMM curve optimized for low volatility correlated assets. So what is like another stable swap variant?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he calls it FX swap. So he specifically lists the euro there. Anybody that knows the history of Andre, he's been trying to like successfully bring Forex on chain before the last run. He's very, very in the Forex. So it would be good though. Nobody's really nailed it yet. And I don't know why. I don't know why that it's a difficult thing to nail. Maybe it's like he says here that you kind of have to, like I've seen like leverage, like perp dexes have things like the euro, but it is almost like for Forex, maybe it's like you do need like kind of like a special curve to make it all make sense. Because anytime I've seen like currency or Forex or whatever on these dexes, it just seems to be like low liquidity. No one's really trading it. So
yeah, I kind of thought that my kind of assumption was that people in crypto just don't really care too much about Forex just because it feels like the disproportionate reward isn't as there. You gotta like our Forex market is just like massively competitive and the edge is like very, very small. And
well, it's interesting because a lot of people, I went down this path of the thing people don't quite realize about Forex is usually the trading markets are like you're like on super high leverage, whether you're trying to or not. So I kind of went down this path before I really got into crypto of, you started getting those similar crypto trade highs, things like penny stocks, low cap stocks, Forex. I was kind of like into all this stuff before I like really started to like, I was like in the Bitcoin for more like the philosophical whatever reasons, but I didn't like really get drawn into like the crypto market until I started like realizing like, oh, you can have these big gamble trades, and you can, you win those trades. There's nothing like it,
Yeah.
You can't. So a lot of people go down that path, and Andre being around as long as he is, I'm sure that was maybe similar for him where, these Forex trades, you could get those volatility hits sometimes, especially when like trading against like exotic currencies and stuff.
That makes sense. I never really got into Forex at all. I think, but similarly, before I got into crypto more, I was playing around with like options. And it's fun to see the number go up really high.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Options. Yeah, definitely. That's kind of like you can kind of duplicate that feeling of like, yeah, when you hit on that, it's like, you can't really do that just trading stocks usually.
Yeah. So the leverage thing, I guess it does make sense, and it's got to be fun too. You're doing leverage, you're doing Forex, high leverage to the gills on yen. You're trading the salary of 15,000 Japanese salarymen. It's got to give you a little bit of a high.
Yeah, I think that's one thing people don't realize is, like if I'm talking like even if you're just using like forex.com or something, your position is technically like 500x or something crazy, even though you're just thinking you're doing like a normal. And that's because, it does take that kind of leverage, if you're trading even like $100 to like, for it to make sense, like to make something on the moves.
Yeah, because you're trying to capture like the differences in the price of being like 0.01 of a penny or some shit.
Never stop gambling. That's correct. That is the philosophy.
Now, we talked about the blockchain bureau the other day.
Yeah, we did go into that pretty in depth about the on-chain credit scores.
As depth as we can without him providing some sort of additional information. We can speculate. And you know what? Let's front run him, Dracula. I think we can front run him, dude. I got a team. Let's do it. But he says this is where it got interesting. Is he has all these polls, and where people, I wouldn't be surprised if people in our very audience voted in these.
I'm sure some did.
Each of the above could have fee extraction. Should fee extraction be added? I feel like also this is a little bit like, what is charity? What do you mean? And that passed. If you did vote for fee extraction, should it go to a DAO or to the token? Right. So this is like single side staking, right?
Yeah. This is where it gets a little tricky, I think. You know, Andre traditionally is also not like a big fan of tokens, right? So I can see why when he starts asking, it's like, should it be a token or should it be a DAO? It's kind of a hard choice to make because the reality of a DAO is there's been like maybe 2 or 3 DAOs off the top of my head that have truly been like successful, well run, actually kind of ended up more of like a company in terms of how it's run. In general, DAOs are funky with people making decisions that should not be making those decisions. So I have to say
for invalid reasons often.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, some of the DAOs I've been a part of, you see that too, where you know they kind of break down into politics and teams and cliques, and you know, it just often isn't like the best way to handle a bunch of money, right?
Yeah.
So I have to actually agree that I would prefer there to be a token where there's a system in place that's just automatically feeding all this stuff into like, you know, a staking system or whatever that may be, you know, locking the tokens to earn the fees or, you know, but let's see what Benny says. DAO conceptually just doesn't work. If it did, the regular world would be using it all the time. Gotta agree with that.
Yeah, I had the big argument with this multiple times about teams I've worked with where we wanted to start a DAO, and I just it also seems to me like a DAO could maybe work if like you're in person, you know, but over the internet, I think it's even less likely to be effective. You have like no shared, I don't know, like you know, like in like Sweden, Switzerland, they have like companies that are slightly more like DAOs, but nah, it just doesn't work, dude.
Well, that's the funny thing too, is looking at like the DAOs that are like really successful, you know, like Maker or something. What's funny about that is even though they're a DAO, the structure has ended up basically being like a corporation or something.
Yeah.
You know, there's like basically the CEO and all these positions, and those positions, the DAO makes hundreds of millions of dollars. So those positions pay millions of dollars to like be like leadership. And so it is funny how it's like the ones that are successful have still taken on more of like a company structure than it just being like, let's have everybody vote on how we're going to, you know, what we're going to do with this $1 million and that $1 million. Like it just doesn't seem to work most of the time. I don't know what the answer is to it, honestly, but I know that
the answer is just the only reason DAOs exist is because it was to try and skirt legal issues because a corporation is just fully superior in every single way.
Well, there's that as well, that, you know, there's that brilliant idea of once anybody starts making like serious money, they're like, we're a DAO now.
Yeah. So does that mean Andre likes DAOs though, you know?
I think it's that if you even look at Solidly, where Solidly had the issues is unfortunately that Andre had this kind of like utopian, everybody's going to work together and do what's right kind of mindset. So that's why, you know, there was not that whitelisting process that Solidly forks have now. And that's what people instantly took advantage of on Solidly was how can I, you know, if I have a bunch of votes, I can just invent something and give all the votes to it. And so I feel like because maybe like in lieu of like he would prefer there not to be a token, he's thinking, well, a DAO, if it was run right, that would be, but it's like I said, it's just 99% of the time is not run right.
Yeah, no. It seems to me that like this might be haram to say in crypto, but it's like the DAO is analogous to like a company, a corporation, and the token is obviously analogous to like a stock, right? Like a share. So it seems to me that they're imperfect representations of these things in many ways. Like there are some advantages to a token, right? And to a DAO, and that like you can launch them way easier. They're way more flexible in a lot of ways. But at the same time, like how do you structure something so that it's like effective and fair in the market? And what we're going to have is like convergent evolution, right? Like where DAOs are eventually just going to look like corporations. Tokens are going to look just like stocks.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's true because it's like I said, I mean, the ones that are successful are basically structured exactly like companies.
It's like that crab thing, right? You know, like the thing people were saying for a while, like everything converges to evolving into a crab over time. Well, it's like, you know, in a specific setting to accomplish a specific goal, the pressures and challenges you face force you to be a thing.
Yeah. No, it's like so true. And I think when you're saying should it be a DAO or token, I think you're almost looking at, you know, theoretically, like, is it power to the people or is it like the dictator makes the decision? But I'm sorry, guys. The dictator, just let him make the decision. In this case, we don't need people deciding this. But if he goes off the public vote, we're okay anyway, because everybody wants a token because they want it to, you know, they want it to pump. But I say make a token. Hell, make one token that is like the token for all the primitives, and all the fees just flow into that one token. You know,
that'd be awesome.
Every single thing doesn't have to have its own token. Just make one thing, and it's just like everything feeds into that, and I bet people will be very happy and it will do very well.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So he says, assuming you vote fees tokens, how should this token be distributed? And I think this was the biggest surprise to him. So very few people voted for the VC route, go figure.
Yeah.
I think this 5% is just VCs. Real-time fair launch to LP, retrospective fair lunch, which if you don't know what a fair lunch is, or retrospective fair lunch, that's when you airdrop. And then 2017 style ICO, no VC. Now, all of these have their positives and their opposites of positives, negatives. But it seems to me, you know, I don't really know. What do you think, Drake? I think it really kind of depends a lot on like the structure of what how the token works and what it is. But I think the 2017 style ICO is probably the riskiest for the average guy.
Yeah, for sure. Because it says no VC, but it's like, let's face it, you know, people are going to have multiple wallets. People will do whatever it takes to spread that capital out. I do think the real-time fair launch to LP would be ideal. And that's, if I remember correctly, that's actually what he did with YFI, it was just a real-time, you know, money into the LP kind of deal. You know, it, like I said, it is kind of tough. I do think that a ICO though is probably not the way, right? Just,
I think people have kind of got like remember when Kobe was writing those articles about like the current launch strategy with like VC tokens, like the low float, high market cap. People were reading those, and he made a good point in the article where he's like, there's a lot of problems with ICOs. It's not like it's better, like that much better. It's slightly more fair, but it's like saying, you know, playing 3-card Monte on the street is like less fair than roulette at the casino, right? Like it's still not fair. But I think people kind of yearn for that. They got this idea that it's going to be you know, it'd be like getting into ETH, but the times have completely changed, right? Like there's a big difference between the first ICO and the 2000th ICO. A lot more people know the game now, and you're not the only one to have it figured out. And then kind of like the allocation, you know, obviously people want the minimum amount allocated to the team so they can get the most. But this is why it came across my timeline is this specific post. Assuming you voted, okay, assuming you voted fees to token, how will this token be distributed, right? ICO. And he said he was really surprised by this. Yeah, surprised, but okay. And this kind of text, you know, when you get this from like your girlfriend or whatever, you know you're in trouble, right? Like period. I think Andre, you know, Miyazaki, the guy makes films, the anime film director. You know how you ever seen those interviews with him where he's like, anime was a mistake. I hate this art form. I hate the fans. That's how I feel like Andre is. He's like, I have this beautiful art I was working with, and then all the people that turned out to be fans are all these disgusting perverts, and I want nothing to do with them.
Well, it's like, of course, it's like, you know, people are gonna want to go with what can be like, you know, some degen gains. You know, obviously, that's a funny comment below it. 80% of us don't understand what you asked. We just pressed the button.
Yeah,
we're apes. Please don't listen to us.
And then right below it, kind of to my point, the disgusting degens, the disgusting monsters in this space, a scam account.
Yeah, immediately a scam account right below it. Here's a guy being like, "Oh, it should be a DAO. Sorry, you're wrong. It should not be a DAO. Don't do it."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why are you surprised? That's probably the best answer.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, I remember on the format for the real-time fair launch to LP, when they ran it like that, there was actually no team allocation on Yiffy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably what he has in mind is, you know, you put everything into LP, there's no team allocation, there's no, you know, nothing. Something interesting I've seen has been, and it hasn't been done a lot, but there has been this thing I've seen where it's like a farm launch basically, where the amount of LP you kind of like, the amount like of liquidity you provide kind of sets your farming rate, right?
Sets your farming rate.
Yeah, so like for instance, it'll be like, okay, like, you know, if you put in, you know, an ETH or something, your rate is now whatever. Your rate is 60-70%, you know, APR, probably more than that for this case. You know, it's probably like, oh, you get like 200% APR or whatever. Compared to like, you know, if you only put in a little, you know, you have like a way lower APR while you're farming. And then at the end of it, you actually get that Ethereum back minus 1%. Maybe that sounds complicated, but I think it's an interesting way to do it where you're kind of like getting compensated for like what you put in. And it's like, it's really hard for people to just kind of like smash the pool and get in and get out because you usually have to like kind of commit to that amount being staked for a while.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. Like, it's like I'm getting my like reward like up front, like over time.
Yeah.
And I'm paying down the line.
Yeah, it's like you still get like the majority of your what you put in back. But
so like the protocol gets like the liquidity they need.
Yeah, like a small percent, yeah.
And then they get to keep some of it at the end, but you get, you know, the token. Which will assuredly only go up from there.
Yeah, what he should do is he should just do something crazy where it's like the supply is like 10,000 tokens or something. Make that thing like $1 million a token.
Yeah, and then you should give me one.
Give one to Corval.
Yeah, dude, I'll take good care of it.
But yeah, man, I think that's pretty much all we had for today.
Yeah, I think we covered it all. You know, we're still escaping Dr. Robotnik, dude. You know, we're still running the show here, Sonic style. And we're probably only going to be up only from here until the end of time. So I'm feeling good.
The end of days.
We just need another Mr. Clean song. We need a new Mr. Clean song about every month just to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, one new Mr. Clean track a month to keep the market pumping. That's what I think.
I want to see him putting out Gucci Mane levels of production.
So, but yeah, thanks as always for hanging out, watching, commenting. We stream twice a week. OX Sonic Talk, YouTube GM_Sonic, and anywhere you can listen to podcasts, GM Sonic. And we will catch you guys next Tuesday.
See you on the flip side, big dog.